we might as well move on. We spoke about this last week, what we're not going to the Giro d'Italia, but apparently there's a leaked Jumbo-Visma team, and it's also been denied that it's not the Jumbo-Visma team. Ewan, what do you make of the very young Giro d'Italia team that has been, apparently leaked?
Yeah, exactly. That it's been leaked by a number of sources. It wasn't actually announced by staff. It was mentioned in a podcast, I believe. And in their targets as well was spoken about that they want to really push the young riders. So here's the list that we have at the moment. Wout van Aert, Attila Valter, Tom Gloag, Matteo Jorgensen, Ben Tullet, Johannes Staune-Mittet, and Per Strand Hagenes. A very young team, as we mentioned. Tom Gloag, young rider, as is Johannes Staune-Mittet and Per Strand Hagenes. Really excited to see how those Norwegian riders fare in their first Grand Tours. We saw them bring a young team to the Giro last year. Even the year before, we saw them with that Case Leemreize sort of breakthrough Giro in 2022. And it looks like they're following a similar trend. I'm a little bit gutted to see Attila Valter's not been moved up a little bit, and Matteo Jorgensen, given that we might not see Wout van Aert and Nathan van Hooydonk at the Tour de France. Well, we're definitely not going to see Nathan van Hooydonk at the Tour de France. That opened up some space. I really thought Matteo Jorgensen could slot into that one as a bit of a Swiss Army knife rider. But Scott, it's an exciting team. Really, really excited to see how Staune-Mittet goes.
Yeah, I mean, we complain a lot about the big teams not sending youngsters to important races, and this is arguably the second most important race of the year. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to retain the Giro, though, let's be honest.
I agree. I don't think they will retain the Giro. I think we're going to go back to old school Visma Giro, which is like trying to get stage wins.
Per Strand Hagenes, I think he just takes stage. He's insane, that guy.
Stage one.
Yeah.
He could go for that one. Probably, yeah, he's going to have to wait until later into the race. That stage into Naples could really suit him. And we'll see how he goes. There'll be a lot of eyes as well on him because we know so much about him at the youth level. He's been a big youth sensation, similar with Staune-Mittet. Two Norwegians as well in this team. Remember, the team is rebranding as Visma Lease bike. Visma, their lead sponsor, is a Norwegian team. Are we now going to see Norwegians get priority access in this squad for Grand Tour starts going forward, Scott, do you think? In the same way maybe Dutch people got priority access before when it was Jumbo?
Priority.
Oh, I mean...
Yeah, no, you could be onto something. Yeah, obviously a Norwegian sponsor wants to see their Norwegian riders out. And it's quite interesting to see what they're going to do. But I mean, Ben Tullet, I think he's been talked about so highly over the last few years. He's this big talent, obviously cyclocross background, moving to Jumbo-Visma from Ineos. And do you think he could potentially have a breakout ride here at this Giro?
Well, I'd say he had a breakout ride in the 2022 Giro. Although it was a bit of an Indian summer. He was very good for the first week and then sort of faded away. He had a brilliant time trial in Budapest. He was right up there in the GC, but definitely I think he could really slot into it. I still don't know what kind of rider we're seeing out of Ben Tullet. Is he a classics rider? Is he a GC rider? Is he a puncher, a time trialist? He's one of these sort of Swiss Army knife kids coming through. We'll see what he can bring. Maybe this Giro will give us more of a sense of what kind of rider he is, but it'll be intriguing to see how he goes. It feels like he didn't quite settle into Ineos Grenadiers over the past couple of years. Set the setup and like sort of the hope of something Ineos Grenadiers. This didn't quite happen. So maybe a change of scenery at Jumbo-Visma, well, Visma Lease bike will give him a new lease of life. And also, Scott, I'm really, really intrigued about Matteo Jorgensen. What's he going to bring in this Giro?
Yeah, true. There's so many of the riders that could potentially ride for their own chances. So suddenly the Wout van Aert project could maybe be thrown to the back burner.
But Matteo Jorgensen in the off-season did say that he'd rather work for a winning teammate than GC. But Matteo Jorgensen could actually probably finish 8th in GC at next year's Giro.
Yeah, I mean, it is an exciting, very exciting team. And who do you think they should actually ride for? Or should it just be a free-for-all? Is it just a stage hunting team? Is that what you think?
It could be a stage hunting team. I think it depends how Wout goes. If Wout's up there, I mean, top 5 could be possible. I don't know whether we're just like sort of too optimistic on that front. If Jorgensen went for GC, he could probably get 9th, 8th, I would say. It's quite, the Giro route, we've seen Jorgensen ride really well at 1 week long stage races, and it's essentially a 1 week long stage race with 2 extra weeks added on.
Is that the quote?
Yes, sir. Next year's Giro is just Tirreno Adriatico with just 2 extra weeks. And then, like, they're probably going to be called off because of the snow in the mountains. Like, be real, you know? So Jorgensen, if he's hanging on and he's like on his like spring 2023 form, he could be right up there in the lower ranks, top 10. Oh, but Stalin we have no real sort of point of comparison to how he rides at World Tour stage races.
We've seen the Tour de l'Avenir and then going on to win the Tour de France. I'm not sure anyone's actually done that with the under 23 Giro and then next year winning the Giro. Oh, well, that's not true. No, because Tadej Pogačar had one season, then he did it. So I lie. We haven't seen the double. Or
well, I'm not saying he's going to win it, but like, I'm intrigued. You know, he could have it really depends. We don't have much of a point of comparison with him on the World Tour level. Similar with Per Strand Hagenes, but when he was at the Sparkassen Münsterland Giro, whatever it's called, he was fantastic in that. Could go for some stages. Could be a bit of a breakaway star.